Access to healthcare can be difficult for some people, to include those without insurance. However, there's a program in Siouxland to help get women access to the care they need, regardless of their ability to pay. KTV's Katie Koppel has more tonight on the Care for Yourself program. It's tonight's Health Beat 4.
It's a screening program to help out women that are low income, uninsured, or underinsured to get health screenings.
Care for yourself. It's a phrase we hear often, but at Siouxland District Health, it's also the name of a program to make sure women in Siouxland have access to important healthcare screenings.
This program is designed so income would not prevent a woman from getting the annual screenings that they need.
The Care for Yourself program exists to give women the breast and cervical cancer early detection screenings they need. It's open to anyone at or below 250% of the federal poverty level.
So anybody who has a barrier to getting those testings, if they qualify by income, they can still enroll. They do not need to be an Iowa resident. They can be from Nebraska or from South Dakota, and we can still enroll them.
The Care for Yourself program makes screenings like pelvic exams, pap smears, HPV testing, mammograms, and more available at a provider they prefer.
And the program is designed so they would go to their own provider. They don't need to come here. They go to their own provider, their own service area.
Those who are on Medicare or who have insurance that may not cover these screenings can also qualify with the help of the Siouxland District Health Department. In Sioux City, Katie Koppel, KTIV News 4.
And to learn more or to apply, we have the information for you. It's inside the story right now on KTIV.com.
Well, depending upon where you live, it's kind of a cold night in parts of Siouxland. This is our Ida Grove cam. We have clear skies right now across northwest Iowa, whereas here in Sioux City, we've gotten in on some cloud cover, so we're still holding in the teens after a daytime high of 23 degrees. Our low this morning was 11. So yeah, that 23 below average for this time of year. And we have clouds overhead here in Sioux City. You see a few flurries trying to fly. I just poked my head outside the studio here at KTIV. I'm not seeing any flakes come down as of right now, but notice how it is clear off to the east. And my goodness, is that making a difference in temperatures? Under clear skies, Spencer's fallen all the way to 3 below, with the cloud cover acting like a blanket, basically. It still has us at 16 and Norfolk at 20 degrees. There's not much of a wind, but enough of a breeze up here in Spencer and Storm Lake to send those wind chills down there a bit. Spencer feeling more like 16 below right now, and Storm Lake 5 degrees below zero. Again, it is 20 degrees over in Norfolk, Nebraska, a quiet scene there. And there is our Sheldon cam right now. Watch your future track. This is during the day tomorrow that we're watching. We're going to see an increase in clouds as the day goes along. Then as we get into tomorrow night, a few light snow showers start to become a possibility. This is 2 a.m. on Thursday that you're looking at right there. And then the best chances of snow, I think, will be in the western portions of our area overall. Thursday 8 a.m. still maybe a little bit of that light snow lingering around. It should kind of fade away as we get toward the noon hour. At this point, most of the accumulation probably taking place in western Siouxland, where it could get up toward an inch. Right now, the future track has taken us out of the snow here in Sioux City, but there's still a chance of us getting in on a little bit of that, so we'll keep you updated on that. Our lows tonight, coldest in northeastern Siouxland, but all of us chilly in the single digits anyway. And then highs tomorrow do go into the upper 20s to low 30s, so not as windy as what we saw today, and it's going to be a little bit warmer anyway. There are those morning light snow showers that are a possibility on Thursday and a high of 20. A chilly one on Friday, a high of 13, and then down to 4 below by early Saturday morning. Could see some snow towards Saturday night and Sunday morning, but overall next week we will do some warming back up. That is it for news and weather. Stay tuned. Sports Force Extra is up next.
Every evening,
we begin tonight with the man.
KTIV is working for you.
February, because February is of miracles.
Today,
your first alert for what's next.
Continue in